Welcome, Satnam, Hola. How are you all doing on this beautiful Tuesday, May 2nd, 2022? I hope you are all doing absolutely amazing today. So much going on in the world. I had visions just a few days ago of a huge car pileup with big trucks at the front of the line. I also had visions of what I referred to as dust storms. So on April 30th in the morning, I did the recording for my May predictions. And on the 30th in the evening, my Subscribe Star supporters got to view that, and y'all got to view it on the premiere yesterday or thereafter. And in that particular visions in the meditation, I saw what I referred to as a dust storm, but I wasn't quite sure what it was, or even if it was at all related to the incident of a huge pileup of vehicles. But sadly, yesterday, oh, come on in, have a seat. My door just blew open. Come on in, have a seat, gather around, everybody. Anyway, yes, in Wisconsin, sadly, a sandstorm caused an 80-vehicle pileup that claimed up to 6 lives so far. So prayers out to those that were involved in the accident in Wisconsin. More attacks are taking place on our food system, friends. And Spirit warned us that this would continue. And Spirit warned us 2 years ago that we need to be stocking up and prepared. But prepared for what exactly? Well, now we see another incident of 150,000 chickens that burn in a fire. Lots of chickens burning in fires, if you haven't noticed over the past 2 years. This time in Japan. Japan's dealing with huge issues with putting so many chickens to death, they have nowhere to bury them. So we're going to talk about that today. My guides told us that more truth was going to be revealed around the Epstein case, right? Well, that's exactly what's also occurring right now. We're going to update you on the whole involvement of that. But Spirit says there's so much more to come until this karmic circle is actually served to those within that web of darkness. So many more bodies have just washed up in Mexico, and Spirit warned us about a couple months ago to be mindful of traveling to Mexico. So what's going on with that? Could my past predictions that I had of massive strikes actually be coming into the fruition in the real near future? We did have many massive strikes, but I've saw so many strikes not that long ago within the past 6 months that would occur. And we're heading into that time. I also talked about airlines having major issues that would end up leading to perhaps bailouts of airlines. Well, American Airlines and their union members just voted to strike. So will they actually do so, and how is this going to affect everything? We're going to talk about that today. In that video I recorded a couple days ago, I put a warning out to our friends in Italy, an earthquake warning to be exact, in that last video. And Italy was hit by an earthquake yesterday, I believe a 5.1, 5.2. So is this the beginning of what Spirit told me today, Spirit referred to as the earthquake season? We're in earthquake season? I don't know if that's even really a thing, but in Spirit's mind it is, so we're going to talk about that today. Did you know another balloon, of course, another diversion of your attention, is happening and being tracked by the U.S. military around Hawaii, Waikiki? Is this just another incident meant to prepare us for something even larger? Because if you recall, last time that happened, soon after here in the United States, we had the shooting that occurred and those little kids that were murdered at that Christian school. So is there something like that heading in our direction? Lots to cover today, including new predictions revolved around bugs. That's right, friends. Bugs, mosquitoes to be exact. Future outbreaks, and a new medical discovery that's going to be made in the way that you should have guessed. In the way of the big C, as I call it. So we're going to check that out and talk about that today. In surgery as well. Big breakthroughs that are going to occur that Spirit gave me wind of today. We're going to explore all the loud booms that are being heard beneath the ground in Flint, Michigan, and the sonic booms that are being heard globally. I got some information on that today. So I welcome you all, beautiful friends, beautiful souls. Again, I hope you're having a beautiful day. My name is Joseph Tittel, but you knew that already, and I welcome you to Tuesday's Tittel Tea Time Predictions Updates, episode number 64. Down below, you'll find the link to the latest newsletter. Please check out that newsletter. If you miss any videos or anything, it'll be listed in that newsletter along with information on the energies, that are happening. I put these out every couple times a month, so check it out. Events, classes, things all related to that. So open up that newsletter. Down below, you'll also find all the links to social media, including the Awaken Your Spirit community on SubscribeStar. Those folks in that community and those folks in the community down below here on YouTube and all the supporters make this free content possible. And I am so absolutely grateful to do what I love to do and spend so much time being able to do so because of you. Thank you so much. And if you want accurate predictions, prophecy, and truth, you found that tribe. Again, smash that subscribe and join Team Spirit and our exploration of the future. Moving right along. So we're heading... oh, and also one other thing I wanted to mention. Past lives. What do you think about past lives? And the truth revolved around past lives, past life regression. I'm certified in hypnotherapy, past life regression, and other things too, but those two. And I am doing another past life exploration workshop class. That is listed in the newsletter down below. Check it out because the last class, I did it once, just launched it. And so much success from that first class and so much excitement from folks that got to experience things connected to their past lives. Not that it's always a guarantee, but it ended up being a guarantee for all that attended the last one anyway. So check that out down below. So we're heading towards the May 5th eclipse and the beginning of a huge 14-day energy shift, the second one of 2023. And that starts on the eclipse, same day. And May is going to be likely the most intense months of all months so far this year, and perhaps the most intense month of 2023. We'll have to wait and see. So many emotional triggers during this entire month that could really affect humanity in so many different ways on both positive levels and on negative levels. It's how we take things and how we work through these energies. This is going to be even more so the case in the latter part of the month when we have that Mars influencing, triggering people's anger or anger amongst nations, anger amongst people, especially people actually in a good way, stepping up against government control. That's part of the awakening. So that's what that whole influence towards the end of the month, especially around the new moon, which I believe is the 19th, all around that time period. So humanity is going to take another step higher on that staircase of awakening, closer and closer to revealing more truth, more knowledge, more wisdom. That's exciting, friends. It's so exciting. May is an exciting month for all of us and all of us who are ready to awaken, especially to the next level. And even more exciting for those who are willing to allow this energy to act like our doctor or act like our surgeon. Take this energy as your surgeon that's going to come in and help our souls and help mend the open wounds, clear the scars, and bringing us again a whole new level of good soul health. Not just body health, but soul. Soul's important. Sometimes we need band-aids on our soul. The May 5th eclipse is also going to usher in the second eclipse in a row. And therefore, this is, we can call eclipse season, which is always a great time in which so much healing can and will occur. The time in which so many truths shall be unveiled, arriving this month as the light begins to shine brightly, exposing that which has been hidden in the darkness. Hallelujah, amen. Speaking of hallelujah, amen, I am hosting on Friday a global healing, both for personal and universal healing that we can join in to do. I will be recording this and uploading it with music in the background, 432 hertz to be exact, because that has a lot of healing potential to it as well. So if you can join us live for that, perfect. I will be there live in the chat, but I won't be chatting. I'll be meditating with the rest of the world. I hope you will join me. And if you can't join me, and again, I'll have that posted tomorrow, so keep an eye out for it. If you can't join whenever you can, because especially on the day of the eclipse, that is the most powerful day of all days this year. So I hope you will join me. And I hope you will click that like button while we're hanging out today. Don't forget to click that like button. It helps me, helps the channel, it helps you actually as well. So the huge pile-ups that were in my last video. If you missed my May video, my May predictions video from yesterday, I'm not repeating anything that I said yesterday other than a couple things about the eclipse energy. So make sure you check that out. There should be a thing popping up on the screen right here so that you can check it out. So at least 6 people are deceased after a dust storm causes an 80-car vehicle pileup on the Illinois highway. That's crazy. That's sad too. At least 6 people, again, are deceased following this pileup of 80 vehicles on Interstate 55 south of Springfield, Illinois on Monday. Illinois State Police have said more than 30 people were transported to the hospital with injuries. A dust storm led to the massive pileup involving 20 commercial vehicles and 40 to 60 passenger cars. So yeah, commercial vehicles, that's what I always saw in my vision, exactly what I saw in my vision. I thought that, again, the dust storm had other significance to it, and it probably does in my visions yesterday, if you checked out that video. Very sad for those who were involved in that accident. And unfortunately, if you refer back to my May predictions video, again, where I discussed this accident, I just discussed accident-prone energy. I've been discussing that for a while now, talking about that energy heightening in the month of May, which it's already starting to do, and we're only on the 2nd day. We're going to see this occurring globally the whole month of May, including a huge record-breaking pileup and traffic jam that will occur in China, Japan, and potential for another here in the States and also the UK. They popped out very strongly to me. So again, friends, be safe out there. Be cautious. You know the 3 C's of driving? Most people do not know the 3 C's of driving. I know because I took driver's ed in high school. Caution, courtesy, and common sense, friends. That's it. Always focus on the 3 C's of driving. I also see another issue plaguing the trucking industry. The trucking industry. And I'm not yet clear exactly what this could be, but at the same time, I do see perhaps some kind of new rules or new laws that are attempting to be put into place that are going to stir up concerns and anger from the trucking company. So when I got this information today, first thing I thought of was what happened in Canada with the whole trucking convoy and all that. You know, it was all over, you know, we know what it was all about. And they took people's money and everything. That Trudeau, man, he's one of the demons that worked for Lucifer. Most of the leaders do, if not all of them, actually. But anyway, I see this coming up in the trucking industry. And this could also be a large possibility of several trucking giants, big trucking companies that are going to go on some type of strike in the future. Whether it be related or not to the trucking industry, I also feel another fork is going to be thrown in the road of imports when it comes to things coming in and out of our countries and from even state to state, along with something that's going to affect the shipping of goods. So again, state to state and globally, problems with shipping. The one with the goods, whether it be the truck shipping, you know, shipping by trucks, trains, planes, automobiles, whatever, but even especially those like the post office, UPS and FedEx. UPS and FedEx are becoming one company. Did you hear? They're going to call themselves Fed Up. Sorry, but whatever it may be, folks, I do feel that it's going to be short-lived. And hopefully help us in the long run to solve issues that are going to make the process in the future easier and better for all. And that's really what we want out of all of it. That's what all these challenges are about, helping us to grow and to make things better. So I hold hope that not only, going back to moving on to the next subject, which is Mexico, or not even child, just the whole entire traffic thing in general. And of course, the EPSTEIN creepiness. So I hold in the light right now, and I hope that not only are we going to see this month huge ties to the child trafficking and all kinds of trafficking soon to be exposed, so shall many more of those tied into that web of darkness. Whether they be celebrities, politicians, and company heads, we will see major busts in the realm of trafficking and in the realm of drugs. including a large ring that Spirit showed me of scammers. So this brings in scamming rings. You know, they're part of that web of darkness too, that are operating in a city here in the United States. I don't know what that scammer is all about, but something with scamming. So, going over to Epstein, Noam Chomsky responds to revelations that he met with Jeffrey. The former Massachusetts Institute of Technology linguistics professor Noam Chomsky came under fire over the weekend after a report disclosed that he met with disgraced financier and, you know, we know, I'm not even going to say the words and have little flags put up. But Mr. J.E., we'll call him J.E., J.E.P., you know what the P stands for. So the Wall Street Journal is an exclusive news report published on Sunday, said that it obtained Epstein's private calendar, which included numerous meetings with the high-profile individuals such as Chomsky and others. Interesting. So I remember I said in the past that more stuff was going to come out revolved around that whole case, and it is. We see that. I'll have more on that in a moment. I must have mixed these up when I was doing them. But after the death of a U.S. Tourist in Mexico a couple months back, remember that? I saw more coming and a big warning that was put out by Spirit to be careful in Mexico. I even talked about Cancun in the past, and now 8 bodies wash ashore in Cancun, Mexico. Of course. And this isn't good if you're traveling there, that's for sure. 8 bodies found dumped near a popular tourist resort. Mexican authorities are identifying 8 bodies found dumped in the resort city of Cancun. The bodies were found in searches over the weekend as a part of an ongoing investigation into countless groves. I hate when commercials pop up. That drives me crazy. Speaking of commercials, last week, YouTube put like 30 commercials, no exaggeration, in my video. Maybe even more than that. I had to go in, thanks to y'all telling me in the comments, and get rid of them all. I couldn't believe it. Mercury retrograde, that's what I blame it on. But anyway, bodies that were found, 8 bodies in Cancun, Mexico. Mexico, like most of the world, is being overtaken by the evil overlords or warlords who are really more concerned about killing anyone that gets in their way when it comes to money, traffic, power, control, and all those avenues. I stated that much more was going to come from the Epstein case, and more is going to come out of Mexico, and the connections of Mexico to that whole circle of web of darkness of Epstein. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I'm sure it's all connected and goes to the cartel in some way. But still, there's major breakthroughs, Spirit just said, with all of that. Both Mexico, the whole traffic, the whole drugs, the whole cartel, the whole Epstein, all that. Big breakthroughs that are still yet to come. And huge busts. And I expect to see that occurring this month. So again, I stated that much more would come in the Epstein case, according to my divine guides. And we were also told that someone took his place. Remember, Spirit? And of course, I mean, that's common sense. You don't need to be psychic to figure that one out. But someone took his place. Just who is the question? Along with another creep, another creep like him that is going to be brought down. Not the one that took his place, but another creep like him is what Spirit said. We can only hope and pray that this occurs this month so that more people get freed from that enslavement. But Spirit says that this case is going to be one of those cases that's going to continue leaking disturbing facts for years to come. So did you hear about how the CIA, them, and the current administration's chief met several times with Mr. J.E.? Interesting enough. I don't know if you heard about that one, but another interesting name has turned up regarding the late convicted underage offender J.E. Yeah, so according to the documents obtained by the Wall Street Journal again, President Joe Biden's current CIA chief, William Burns, is among a number of names of people who met on more than one occasion with J.E., the convicted. The national spy chief, a longtime college resident, and a top woman in finance. The circle of people who are associated with J.E. years after he has been convicted is wider than previously reported, according to a document. Yeah, there's so much more to this, friends, so much more. But, this just shows how they are involved, that circle, because we already know that that's like run by the reptilians or something. But there's also Trump's labor secretary Acosta resigns amongst this whole case, the whole J.E. case. Yes, U.S. Labor Secretary Alexander Acosta resigned on Friday amid fresh scrutiny of his handling of the sex abuse case against financier J.E., becoming President Donald Trump's latest advisor to leave the administration due to controversy. I told you they're all weaved into that web of darkness, friends. All of them, including DT. All of them. They're all weaved into that web of darkness. Acosta joining Trump at the White House before the president left for a trip to Wisconsin. Oh, Wisconsin's just where that accident just happened. How interesting. And he did not want to be a distraction to the administration's work because of his leadership of the Epstein case more than a decade ago. So he's been in charge of that for over a decade. Yeah, and look at where that's got. Interesting. What's even more interesting is that the Bible, the Holy Bible, warns us of famine and disease. And in 2020, we got a little bit of a taste in witnessing what potential possibilities could actually be unleashed by that army of darkness, the evildoers. We saw that 2020. Well, the following story is another push from the dark overlords, if you ask me. A lab emergency in Sudan in the WHO. I'm sure you probably heard about this. I think I wanted to put it in last week and didn't fit it in. Speaking of last week's video, I just got an email right before I started recording this that there was a copyright infringement twice on my last week's video. First of all, that's just not possible. It's me talking. There's no copyright. There's no music. It's my voice. It's my information. It's my content. So again, threats to take it down or something were in the email. So if you didn't see last week's video, make sure you check it out. Because I'm going to go back and check it out too, just to see what they're trying to talk about. I couldn't figure out what it was. They didn't really say. It could also be garbage email too. But going back to this story, the WHO warns of a biological risk at seized Sudanese lab. Thousands desperately flee. So I'm bringing this up, and I might have talked about it a little bit last week. The chaos engulfing the Sudanese capital became significantly more threatening Tuesday when one of the warring factions seized control of the National Health Lab that contains biological material, according to the UN official who called the development extremely dangerous. To me, these are just more things, they denied the ones that were in the Ukraine, right? Totally denied them. Oh, they don't exist. And we found out they do exist. Now they're telling us right straight up ahead of time that there's ones there in Sudan. And it's just to me, them pushing things. So I say, don't worry about it. Don't focus on it. Spirit says, don't worry about it. Don't focus on it. But here's something we do. His spirit kept showing me visions of small swarms of mosquitoes, followed by a vision of me being bit by a mosquito. Luckily, now maybe this year because we had so much rain, but we don't really get mosquitoes here. It's a lovely thing, I must say, because back east, they used to get eaten alive. They like my O positive blood type. They love it. So Spirit says that after I saw this mosquito bite me, this was followed by seeing people that were wearing these suits, white suits with masks, kind of like beekeeper suits almost is what they look like. They also look like bio suits. Could be either or. But in my vision, I saw these people all suited up, wearing protection and spraying these swarms of mosquitoes. So I can interpret this in several ways. First, by stating and predicting that we are going to see a huge infestation of mosquitoes in several countries. And I predict it won't be just mosquitoes, but other insect and rodent infestations can be expected beginning this month and throughout the next year. That's kind of creepy. Bugs, well, it depends what kind of bug. Bugs don't creep me out. It depends on the bug. Mosquitoes are bloodsuckers. They kind of creep me out. But not just, again, Spirit said not just mosquitoes, but other insects or rodents and rodents as well. And this is going to include some type of a dangerous bee or wasp story that's coming. The vision, again, of people spraying, to me, not only indicates a huge problem, but also some type of virus or bacteria that's going to mutate in some way through mosquitoes. Remember they let all those mosquitoes go? Remember that? Y'all remember that? We talked about that. That was what, last year? Probably about this time last year. They did it in Key West, Florida, if I remember correctly, and other places too. It's just, all that just popped in my mind. I forgot all about that, actually. Spirit just reminded me. Interesting. Very, very interesting. But anyway, going back to the bees and the wasps, there's some kind of something happening with dangerous bees. Big story. Hopefully I'll get more clarity on that in the future, as you know, or maybe you don't know if you're a newbie here. And if you are a newbie, we welcome you to Team Spirit. But if you are, as time progresses, I get more details or more information, especially when we come closer to some predictions coming true. Are coming into fruition, which many of them I hope don't come true. But, you know, that's why we put them out there. We can hold in the light and shift things in a different direction. So going back to this type of bacteria that mutates in some way, part of this is going to occur in Africa, perhaps South Africa. Australia jumped into my mind. Australia, mate! So I hope I don't offend my Australian friends when I do that. I just can't help myself. So Australia jumped into my mind. And I believe that this is back to the infestation issues, that there's going to be some type of infestation issue connected to the Australian continent. Although it could be both, and it could be something spreading somehow through mosquito bites, because I saw the mosquito bite me in my vision. So just be safe. You know, grow your own citronella plants or whatever else. There's many, many natural herbal things that you can make yourself. Dirt cheap with essential oils to keep mosquitoes away. And if you're a positive blood type, especially O positive, they're going to think you're sugar and they're going to go for you big time. So I'm not the only person or the first person to see this one coming and warned what the agenda would lead to in this case that I'm about to talk about. And obviously I can't really say much about it here, but I will share this article with you. HPV vaccine mandate to attend college. In this article here, it states that they want to put college students at risk to protect them from a disease that is easily avoided. If this bill is passed, college students under the age of 26 will be forced to receive this shot in the state. It doesn't say what state, though. Is that every state? It doesn't say what state. Oh, California. Oh, California, of course. It doesn't matter. Ain't going to be many people living there in the near future anyway. Everybody's moving out. But yeah, California. And it's an interesting article that they're pushing this mandate on students in colleges. I find that very interesting. Did you know in the state of Georgia, a mother of 7 was denied a kidney transplant? And you can easily guess why. Take a good guess. We were just talking about it in the previous article. Because she would not submit. She refused to submit and allow that because, you know, her body's already frail. I don't blame her. I wouldn't want anything until my body's up to par. You know, that's just my opinion. We're supposed to be allowed to have our opinions, right? So that's the push, folks. That's the push. That's the push that they, you know, people talked about back in 2008, and they were called conspiracy theorists because of it. Anyway, airlines. Is a strike at all possible, friends, for the employees and pilots of American Airlines? You know, I remember I was on vacation in Key West, Florida, and we were actually going from Key West, Florida to Mardi Gras. afterwards, and this was with my first partner, and they went on strike, and we got stuck. And in Key West, you can't find a room to rent because it's small and everything's booked for a long time. That was interesting. It was a couple days, but it wasn't fun because we were off to New Orleans. We wanted to get out of Key West. Anyway, so going back to the American Airlines. American Airlines pilots vote overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. The union that represents American airline pilots announced on May 1st, yesterday, that its members approved a walkout ahead of the busy summer travel season, with nearly all the participants and pilots voting in favor of the strike. The Allied Pilots Association, which represents 15,000 American Airlines pilots, on May 1st, said that its members have voted overwhelmingly to authorize a strike. Voting began on April 1st and ended on April 30th with a 99% vote. So I do believe, friends, that we are going to witness a short strike of American Airlines, or of an airlines at least. If it's not American, it's going to be an airlines. Perhaps more than one airlines, more than one group of people striking. So we have the pilots union, and maybe if there's something separate, like, you know, the stewardess totally had a brain freeze. I'm not sure how that works, but I mean, we know that there's an American pilots union, but there's probably separate. So multiple unions going on strike related around the airlines. I predicted that what we would see large global striking and walkouts occurring. I said that, and we've seen some of it happen, but not on the large level that I had visions of. So is the airlines going to join in with this? And because if you also go back to my prediction, remember I said that the airlines were going to suffer greatly in the future, to a point that there may even be some type of a bailout attempt of some sort that would occur with the airlines. So a strike for the airlines and higher wages for their employees is definitely going to have an effect, or at least they're going to make it look like it has an effect. Remember, they don't want us flying either, friends. They want to suppress us to our 15-minute cities, to their 15-minute cities, not ours, because I'm not going. You'd have to shoot me first. Not happening. I am in paradise, and I'm staying in paradise right here in Sedona, Arizona, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, going back to the bailouts and airlines, I also see BlackRock came to mind. And I don't know if you're familiar with BlackRock, but that's one of the videos I'm working on. I actually did all the recording. I got to edit it together. It has to do with train derailments, actually. And you're going to want to see that video. So again, make sure that you subscribe, click the bell, click the all so that you're getting notifications, and know I'm here every single Tuesday. Tuesday evenings. I try to get this uploaded and premiered by 5 p.m. Hopefully we'll get there today. But going back to BlackRock came to my mind today when I was channeling this information from Spirit, and we already know that BlackRock pretty much owns the world, and perhaps soon enough will take control of an airline. That's why I believe they popped into mind that BlackRock will have something to do with the airlines or something, which will be interesting for the video that I'm working on. So in the realm of the economy, we are seeing huge drops that are occurring in the markets today. I haven't looked in a while, but I read that first thing this, maybe an hour ago. It's just after 12 noon here in Arizona. I started recording right before noon. So say 10 a.m. I read that the markets were really shady. And actually, it's much later out there on the East Coast too. I forgot about that. So big shaky markets, but actually Spirit made me feel that this will continue because of this energy shift that we are stepping into on Friday. But at the same time, however, I do not feel that these markets, I do feel, however, that these markets will recover a bit. And still, precious metals will continue to rise again at the latter part of this month. I need to find some extra money and buy me some silver and gold. Silver and gold. So we all knew that Spirit confirmed that there was going to be more bank failures, remember? I said bank failures before the whole Silicon Bank thing happened, right? I don't know how long before I said it, but I said that it was coming. Remember, I had visions of people lined up at banks trying to get their money. Today, I saw those visions again. Similar, but different vision, but the same scenario. People lined up at banks. And I believe this is going to start occurring soon in Europe, all throughout Europe, especially England, the UK, in Britain. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But again, Spirit was right, because the second largest U.S. bank failure in history is underway as of yesterday. Probably before that, but as of yesterday is when this article came out. The second largest bank failure in U.S. history is underway. Regulators seize and strike multi-billion-dollar deal. A San Francisco-based bank, there we go, back to California again. California's getting a whooping. San Francisco-based bank collapsed on Monday and was seized by the federal government and quickly sold to J.P. Morgan and Chase, following for billions of dollars in what they call the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. First Republic Bank operated 84 locations in 8 states, but they did not have the capital to handle the withdrawals during the bank run that commenced following the collapse. And that's going to happen again. You watch, there's going to be a bank run. People are going to start running to the banks again and getting money, and that's going to cause others to happen. I should probably take my money out of the bank. I'm in a credit union, but I probably should take it out of there. I will not go to one of them big banks like Chase or one of them. I can't do it. I can't. I just feel like I'm a sinner if I do that. I just really do. So there goes another bank tumbling downwards, friends. And this is all to open up the way, as we know, for the elite's world domination. Not only the Fed, but they already took control of the Fed already controls the world markets, right? We know that, right? But that apparently is not enough power for these greedy you-know-whats. And they want total domination, not just over the banking system, but this is what it all boils down to. All of our transactions, friends. They want all of our transactions to be recorded, to make you pay them your percentage. Before you know it, they'll automatically take out a carbon fee out of your account and all kinds of other fees out of your account. They're going to mandate you to have things that you're going to have to pay for. They'll make it so insurance, you have to pay something, whether it's $25, they're going to make you have to do that. They'll automatically take it out of your account. That's their plans, friends. We know it. We've been talking about it for years now. So they want to make it so that you cannot purchase or everything that you purchase, but what you can and can't purchase. That's what's scary. Like they can say, oh, well, you're not allowed to have meat. And then you can't buy it because it's their money and they control everything. So, this is all also going to lead to the same social credit score system that is dominating and enslaving currently the Chinese people, as the Chinese people are wiping out religions over there in China. Now, I talked a little bit about that attack on religion last week, and, we're not told about how bad it is in China. Christians are being persecuted, just like the Bible says, a persecution against religion and Christianity. That's not good, friends. That's not good at all. That's the devil taking over and taking everything out of the equation. So, moving back on, here's a new thing. I don't know if you're aware of this, but have you checked out the new Fed? Yes, that's right, friends. The new Fed. It's FedNow is the website. The website address is explore.fednow.org. Check it out for yourself. The FedNow, what is the FedNow service? The FedNow service is now an instant payments infrastructure that has been developed by the Federal Reserve that allows financial institutions of every size across the United States to provide safe and efficient instant payment services. Through financial institutions participating in the FedNow service, businesses and individuals can send and receive instant payments in real time, around the clock, each and every day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So this is launching. The FedNow service is going to launch in July 2023 and will be deployed in phases. So little phases. They're going to slowly weave you into their web of darkness, friends. In phases. Yep, that's how they do it. In phases. This isn't good. Excuse me. The initial launch will include core clearing and settlement capabilities to support a range of transaction types and use cases. This is, again, so they can trace, if you do a $10,000 transaction or something, they're going to be right on top of you. I don't even think it'll be that much. You do $1,000, they're going to be right on top of you. That's why they want you to use this system. And again, they're going to slowly weave you into it where you are dependent on that system. Like, you can't send money or do anything unless it's through that. That's not good, friends. We need to stand up and fight and be very aware of these things happening. This is leading, as I've been saying, to the mark of the beast. I mean, it's obvious now. I don't even need to believe that to know that it's obvious. What else is obvious is Paris and the next level of the Great Awakening that's happening as International Workers' Day in Paris brought more chaos to the streets of Paris. Did you know in Paris, a group of the protesters gathered together and stormed one of the Black Rocks? That should tell you something, especially if you didn't know about that and you didn't see it or read about it somewhere or hear about it somewhere. Again, this goes to the video that I'm editing and working on that I can't wait for y'all to see. And I hope y'all do see, because you don't all see my videos. You're here on Tuesdays, but a lot of my other videos, I'd say at least a third of you are missing them. You're not catching them. The newsletter down below is the other way to make sure you know you're getting videos. So going back to Paris, I had this feeling today that a big shaking is coming to Paris, and it felt to me like an earthquake. The way I felt it. It felt like an earthquake, and in my vision, I saw the Eiffel Tower swaying back and forth. Although, again, as you know, visions have to be interpreted, kind of like my dust cloud that I saw the other day. Everything has to be interpreted, and not always is it interpreted easy. You got to take the visions and the way Spirit brings it and so forth. So, the vision of the Eiffel Tower swaying back and forth could also be symbolic. The feeling of it and all could be symbolic and more being significant to an actual political shaking, a political earthquake, or an earthquake within their government. But also at the same time, I'm thinking maybe it's actually both. That Paris is going to endure both. Big shaking of their system and the way they do things in a actual earthquake. I don't think it'll be massive earthquake, maybe like Italy just had, 5.0, 6.0. But we'll have to wait and see. Also, if you're familiar with the underground booms and the sonic booms that have been happening, for a while, but were you aware that in Flint, Michigan, those poor people in Flint, Michigan, I'll tell you, man, they want to drive those people out of there so bad, don't they? And this right here proves that they want to drive them people out of there, because Flint, Michigan asked the state feds to find a source of the mysterious booms that feel like fireworks occurring beneath their feet. That's right. In Flint, Michigan, the Flint police have searched for the source, and they have come up empty-handed. East Side residents say that they have heard this and felt this for years. Now the city is asking the state and federal government for its help identifying the cause seemingly random powerful booms in and around Flint's Rollingwood neighborhood. So we can easily guess what that's all about, which I'm going to tell you about. Spirit reminded me, first and foremost, that there is so much going on that we would never even imagine possible, especially beneath our feet in the earth. So much going on. If you missed my video of billionaire bunkers and that whole video, that's a really good one too. I'll try to get that link up above for you. That's a really good one, which would make sense to some of what I'm going to say here. These, in Spirit saying there's so much going on beneath our feet you would never imagine, including high-speed railways that they keep from the public. A good percentage of the shaking beneath the earth and the sonic booms that Spirit reports that Spirit told me today and reported are caused from several factors that will all lead to the underground dark government puppeteers and shocking to some, Elon Musk. Elon Musk has many very classified secret contracts with the government and is in the process of a secret deal with NASA, according to my spirit guides today, which would all have to do with the colony that Spirit said already being constructed on Mars. Should I run that by you again? Should I run that by you again? Again, Musk has many very classified secret contracts with the government and is in the process of a secret deal, according to Spirit, with NASA, which would have to do somehow with the colony that's already being constructed on Mars. Spirit says that there are colonies on our moon as well, but the colonies on our moon were not created by Earth beings. Spirit says that this is why the real mission to the dark side of the moon will continue to fail, for some forces on the moon forbid such a mission to take place. Isn't that interesting? So, you know, that could go back to people believing that the moon landing was faked and it wasn't real, which I agree quite a bit. This makes sense to the thing that they were going to land on the moon, whatever it was called, that failed, disappeared or blew up or whatever happened to it. And now they're planning that mission I talked about last month of 5 astronauts or something going up there, including a female, heading to the dark side of the moon. That's not going to be successful. And it reminded me of back in the 80s when the Space Shuttle Challenger blew up and exploded, killing 7 astronauts. So, you know, so much going on. I told you Elon Musk was one of those spiders that crawl upon that dark web. You know, maybe he's playing them and playing both sides. I don't know, but just I go with my first vibe all along. There's something creepy about that guy. Something really creepy. He's smart. I give him that, but he's creepy. What else is creepy is the weather. The weather and floods. And I talked about floods. I talked about April being a big month of floods. We saw floods, Texas, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, rare floods that happen there. And now up to 100 inches of water threaten Northern California amid the Great Melt. This article was from yesterday. In California's mountains, the Great Melt is underway. A run of dozens of inches of water packed inside feet of snow from the state's mammoth winter storms. The water is creating a torrential threat for low-lying communities susceptible to flooding and to the state's infrastructure, according which is already failing, like everything in California is. From Mammoth down to Yosemite and all the way around Tulare County, that's probably the worst area because it is the wet test area. 90 to 100 inches of water, they say. National Weather Service meteorologist claims that even in the Lake Tahoe area, Lake Tahoe is 60 to 80 inches of water. Interesting. Very interesting. So that just validates the floods that I talked about in the past. But now another one that I thought was really interesting is this one here, that as ocean and temperatures increase this year, we're going to witness some of the greatest storms, including hurricanes. This is what I channeled through earlier today, including hurricanes, monsoons, and typhoons. Scientists already say temperatures are at a dangerous high, according to my next article here, which says scientists are alarmed as sea surface temperatures hit uncharted territory. This article was from this morning. Scientists are alarmed as sea surface temperatures stubbornly maintained record-breaking highs for more than a month, pushing the state of the Earth's oceans into uncharted territory. Not good. And this would make sense to Spirit saying that this season is going to be, you know, severe, catastrophic storms in all aspects. Hurricanes, again, monsoons, typhoons, tornadoes, especially when we get to the month of September. So today I had a vision of red algae and big plums of red algae gathering along the shorelines. And I was in the summertime, so it's coming up in the summer. And Spirit says this is going to affect places like Florida, California, Australia, and even parts of the Caribbean Sea, all the way up to areas near Indonesia and Japan. Big red plumes of algae that aren't good. It didn't feel very good to me. And I see them now, having a vision of them trying to get rid of it, trying to scoop it out of there somehow. So they're probably actually having an invention that helps clear that red plume in some form or another. That's what Spirit just said. I also had similar visions of a stream or a river that was flowing and it was blood red. I mean, like red, red, red. I don't know if it's related to the same plumes. See, the plumes I saw look like growth. You know, they look like little red trees on the side, plumed together on the sides of the shores. Whereas the river I had a vision of was blood red flowing. And it was all red. Whereas the plumes were in the water, if you understand what I mean. But we had this happen in the past with bodies of water turning red, which is also stated in the Holy Bible and in the book of Revelation about the waters turning red. And so this year, I believe this season coming up, it's going to increase to an alarming level. So be careful out there in the oceans. Another one I just got, which isn't in my notes, the Spirit said, wait until you see the shark attacks that are coming. Early season shark attacks, which means they're coming soon. We're in early season right now. So be aware, especially off the coast of Australia where the shark-ridden waters are overrun, is what Spirit said. I don't know anything about Australia and what part of Australia that would be, but be aware where the waters are warmer. That's what Spirit also just said. Shark attacks. Lots of shark attacks. In one particular area, shark attacks are going to be a concern to the point that they're going to try to do something in some way, law or something, to prevent others from being injured and killed. Interesting. Nothing in my notes about that, by the way. So September jumped out at me really, really strong when it comes to all the events that I just talked about and in the way of weather. And I believe, not only do I believe the month of September, we're in the next Mercury retrograde into October with the energy shift influence in late September. So this could make sense to being a time where we will expect huge, giant storms late September into early October. So I just warned Italy yesterday, in yesterday's video that I recorded 2 days ago, of an earthquake. I warned a lot of places, and I talked really thoroughly about earthquakes and activity in my video for May 1st prediction. So again, be sure to go back and check that out. But they had, what, a 5.1 or a 5.2 in Italy yesterday. And again, I just bring this up to have you refer back to that video from yesterday, the May 1st, the May prediction video. Also, I will at some point this month, since I'm done probably editing the video that I'm about to finish editing, work on a weather prediction video. I'm overdue, and I really, every year, go through all the list of hurricanes and tell you which ones jump out and so forth. So look forward to that in the near future, too. More UFOs and more spy balloons. Yep, folks, yet another spy balloon. Is this spy balloon really meant to take our attention away from something? Is it really meant like the last one? Like I said earlier, last time that happened, we had mass shooting that happened. I'd have to go back and look at a calendar of events to see what else happened right around the time of that other spy balloon. I know there was something going on over in the UKR in Europe. So, but the U.S. military currently is tracking a mysterious balloon that flew over American soil. And it's not quite clear yet what this balloon is or who it belongs to, according to U.S. officials. The object flew across portions of Hawaii, but did not go over any sensitive areas, officials also said and claimed. We can't, nobody believes them anymore. Like nobody believes them anymore. It's not clear whether this was a weather balloon or something else, the official said, adding that the U.S. could still shoot it down if it nears land. The object, which does not appear to have maneuverability, is moving slowly towards Mexico, according to officials. Why are they throwing all these balloons out at us? We know why, but I thought that was an interesting thing to bring up, including more celebrity deaths. Jerry Springer being one of them. Jerry Springer sadly died, and there were many others. Gordon Lightfoot, who was a musician in Canada, just passed. Celebrity deaths of 2023. So April 22nd was actually particularly a dark day for Dame Edna Everage, the star Barry Humphries, Strictly's Len Goodman, and soap star Dal Meeks all passed away on that same day, the 22nd of April. There was further heartbreak for music fans with the death of the Scripps' Mark Sheehan, while S Club 7 singer Paul Catamol passed away as well. Then we had Jerry Springer that just passed away. Who else? Gordon Lightfoot. You know, Jerry Springer, I think, if we look back in time, probably strongly, partly responsible for the way our youth has turned out and America's turning out. In many ways, I'm not saying completely, but in many ways, show and shows like that are exactly what exactly big part of it. But I spoke about a year ago, if you recall, of coming mass die-offs of people in a population decreasing instead of increasing, which is happening right now, even though they'll try to cover it up and tell you, no, population's growing. No, population is decreasing. There is a depopulation that's happening, which is allegedly, according to the Georgia Guidestones, part of the agenda of these doers, evildoers, whether that be true or not. Wink, wink. We know it is. But anyway, so I spoke about that, and I also spoke about the loss of huge celebrities and icons. And we have witnessed this on a little bit of a level, on a smaller scale, I would say. But I do feel like this is going to continue to increase, especially when we get closer to the year 2025. 2025 has been jumping out at me for years. I did the video Tribulation about that time period. And I think in 2025 is when we're going to witness a great amount of loss, according to Spirit. Jamie Foxx endured a stroke. I meant to grab my book and tell you what that meant. I know what that meant. I'll tell you in a minute. But Jamie Foxx had a stroke, and we can easily guess why that could have occurred or why it did occur. We can easily assume and probably be correct, if you know what I mean. We were just talking about a little while ago. But the battle of Jamie Foxx's health, Spirit says, is going to continue. Jamie happens to be in his 5th year, which can bring a repeat in health issues and things of health concerns for Jamie Foxx. So he's still got a ways to go on that. And I also feel that he could actually have a repeat stroke. He's not going to go anywhere. I don't feel like he's going anywhere, but if we look at the emotional cause, because every disease and every illness has a very deep-rooted, specific emotional cause. And the emotional cause of stroke, because my grandfather had one, and my grandfather was forced to retire, and he did not want to retire. They forced him to retire. And within a week, I think 5 days after he retired, he had a stroke. And when he woke up from the stroke, he believed he went back 30 years in time when my grandparents owned a grocery store. Getting up in the morning, telling my grandma, we got to go open up the grocery store. And she's like, what are you talking about? We don't even live in Philadelphia anymore. And then I found and discovered through Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life, the emotional cause of a stroke, which is a resistance, rather die than change. That was my grandfather, totally resistant and did not want to retire. So I don't know what's going on in Mr. Fox's life and world besides, that stroke could come from other sources as well, but there's still the emotional cause always connected somehow, some way. So I don't know what's going on in his life that he's being resistant for and giving up for. But if anybody knows, definitely leave comments down below because your comments are important to me and all those who read them. AI medical advancements. This is interesting as we get towards the end here. Because I put out a lot yesterday, so I didn't want to go over an hour today. I wanted to stay less than an hour if possible. AI medical advancements. AI is going to start suggesting cures. This is what Spirit told me today. AI is going to start suggesting cures for major diseases, including cancer. which the elite is going to push really hard in doing everything and anything possible to put this to a stop immediately and try to cover it up so that you don't know what happened. But if Spirit's showing us this, we know it's going to happen, and we're all going to know when it does happen. But when they try to push to stop people from getting wind that AI is suggesting cures that are actually legit, that are actually going to help people and heal people, this is where the big pharma and all them jump in and start knocking people off to make sure that that doesn't happen. But it's going to be too late, Spirit said. And then they're going to throw out and try to twist it all around and say, oh, well, it killed people. Gave them wrong cures that actually killed them. That's what they'll say. I don't know when this is going to arise, but again, as you know, some predictions are in a 2-year window. So within the next 2 years, I would say we are going to see this occur. Maybe sooner, maybe this year, because this seems to be the year of AI explosions. Also, Spirit showed me new surgical procedures that are going to be operated by AI. Now, they already have AI-type surgical procedures. Spirit said major ones, like, say, heart surgery, for example. And this is going to slowly but surely put doctors and surgeons out of work eventually, say, over the next decade, if we even last that long. But no, that's not true. 2032 is the new Earth nation, when we come together in pure love and rebuild the planet. So an attack on our food, which I talked about in Japan, another 150,000 chickens were killed, this time in a fire. Now, again, Spirit warned us about food back in early 2020, before lockdown. Go back to my videos, you'll find it. It's in one of those videos back then. And now we see it playing out over the past, soon after, actually. Lockdown came. Excuse me, as soon as lockdown went back, we went back outside to play. We started to see all this start to happen. 150,000 hens were killed in a fire in Abaraki farm amid shortage of eggs that is already occurring in Japan due to the bird flu. Tokyo. About 150,000 hens were burned in a fire at a poultry farm in Japan's top egg-producing prefecture earlier on Wednesday. Now, what do we talk about eggs, friends? We talked about eggs. I told you, if you can, go buy chickens and start raising chickens, because eggs are going to... I can't believe how much eggs cost in the damn grocery store. And I always get pasture-raised eggs when I can, and they have them, and it's just insane. $7.99 a dozen, I think, is what I paid. It's just insane. What were they? 2 years ago, I was paying $3.99 a dozen. They're doubled. They doubled in price. So a security guard heard an explosion and found one of the 9 chicken coops in the Minori farm in Abaraki Prefecture, northeast of Tokyo, in flames. Fire rescue services said they received the emergency call around 3 a.m. and dispatched 17 fire engines to fight the fire. You know, why are all these chicken places catching fire? Why are all these food places catching fire? We know it happened here in the United States. Now we see it happening in Japan and all over. Not only that, did you know Japan's already having an issue with alleged claims that the bird flu is so bad in Japan that it's actually running out of land to bury the chickens. Now, I thought they burned them. I mean, they burned down the chicken farms. That's the easy way they sickos do it. So they're burying them? I didn't know that until I came across this article today that more than 17 million birds have been killed nationwide this season alone. Just now. What's this article from? This article is from April 5th. So, yeah. This season alone, we're only 4 months into the year. 17 million birds nationwide. And the disposal of carcasses must be done properly to prevent spreading the virus and contaminating water supplies. You're burying them. It's going to go in the water, you idiots. Like, are people that sometimes you wonder, are these people dumb, or are they really trying to sabotage us? I'm going to go with really trying to sabotage us. Local governments and farmers say that there is a shortage of suitable land to bury these animals, according to an NKH reporter. Japan's case highlights the need for countries to review how they deal with the avian influenza, especially as record-breaking death tolls due to the virus are becoming a norm around the world, while outbreaks have occurred mainly in Europe and the United States and Asia. And the disease has spread further to South America in recent months, with Argentina, Uruguay, and Bolivia reporting their first cases of the bird flu. We talked about the bird flu. It's been a while since I talked about it, but I talked about it. I want to leave you with this thing here. Did you see 3D Epics? They're on YouTube. 3D Epics put out a short. It's an interesting short video called Beyond the Reset. Go check it out, friends. Go check it out. Beyond the Reset by 3D Epics. Let me tell you, it's exactly what they're planning. Exactly to the T of what they have planned for the future of our kids. And us, too. Remember, FEMA camps, everything else. You'd think they spent billions of dollars building these FEMA camps to leave them sit empty? No. It's all part of a very dark, evil agenda. The same dark, evil agenda that goes back to the dark, evil agenda of World War II. I don't even need to say that person's name. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That regime never died out. It just went underground here in the United States. And they've been planning for decades. It's crazy. It's crazy, friends. I'm out of tea and I'm out of time. So don't forget to check out the May video and any other videos. Subscribe. I welcome all the newbies to our channel. Welcome to Team Spirit. We love you. Share and spread the love. Remember, really important to be bold, be true, be kind, be you. And be kind to others as you wish others be kind to you, because we all know that mean people suck. They're no good, no fun, none at all. So, friends, have a beautiful rest of your day. I will see you in the near future on Friday, actually, for the meditation for healing. You can use it, and the world can use you to help heal the world as well. So I hope you will join in. And if you're not there in the morning when we do it, or afternoon, whatever part of the planet you live on, just come and visit and do that meditation on your own anytime, especially if you can do it on the eclipse day. But anytime from the eclipse on, really important. The more of us that do it, the more powerful it is for us on a personal level and on a universal level on the planet. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Spiritman JT signing off. Have a beautiful day. Namaste. Much love.